We've got ourselves a new plane by Volantex, which has been around for a while, and they've got a handful of decent airplanes. This is the Ranger 600 Stunt, and I'm excited to see what the stunt part is all about. In my opinion, they've created this ready to fly setup as a direct competitor to the Aeroscout, the small, cheaper $100 version of the Aeroscout. This flies on 1S batteries. I actually have 3 batteries with this setup with a little Molex plug, and I love that it's a universal battery. This is a pusher prop design up in the back, which means it's protected more from crashes and it's better for beginners. The downside to this is that it's a brushed motor, but again, the Aeroscout is also brushed. Let's be very clear, the $100 version, not the nicer version that everybody loves. And I had an issue with my USB charge cable. It just had a short in it, so I had to keep checking on it to make sure the battery was charging. It did have a quality control sticker on there saying that it passed quality control. In my opinion, it failed quality control. But other than that, that's the only negative thing I could say about this so far until we fly it. So let's put it in the air and see how it does. For some reason, this reminds me so much of Sky Viper drones. You guys get that vibe on this one?
I remember those.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you gotta give me the...
Oh.
Okay, right?
I messed up my job. I'm fired. Launch with confidence! Launchfidence!
I need that before I hand launch anything, or it will fail. Okay, there's hands-free with flight stabilization. I probably did not say that in the intro. This airplane does have flight stabilization, and that's, again, hands-free. Has a little climb to it, but that's okay. Climb's better than going down. Nice wide turns. Man, Abby, this just feels so Sky Viper-esque and like reminiscent of airplanes that I had when I was a kid. I had these like Walmart planes that were very basic, and it took a hope and a prayer, bubblegum, pennies, and rubber bands to keep them in the air. And I'm not kidding about that at all. Me and my best friend Matt growing up had these stealth bombers that were black, and they just had 2 motors, and that was it. All throttle was climb, mid throttle was cruise, lower throttle would come down, and if you wanted to turn, one motor spin faster than the other. And we had to tape pennies on one wingtip just to balance the things out, and by the end of their life they were barely flying. And I don't know, that's just kind of what this feels like. Really, really good memories. Let's crank the throttle, and then we have to test some different modes. So here's full throttle. Not setting any speed records, but we are in beginner mode. That does not affect speed at all. Let's go to intermediate mode and see what happens. Just tighter turns. Oh yeah, look at that, much tighter turn. I like that a lot. Steep climb, steep descent. So intermediate mode feels really good on this airplane because it's like having safe, but we can turn much sharper. See that? That's really nice. Now let's go to advanced mode, but I want to climb a little bit before we get there. Okay. We should be able to loop it, I would hope. Or am I back in? No, that's advanced mode. Okay. That's gonna... Okay, we didn't crash. I'm very happy about that. I thought we were going to. It rolled, but it was very uncontrollable. So we have a stunt button, which after putting it in advanced mode and trying to do a stunt, makes me very curious how this will end. So I'm gonna climb a little bit more, then we're gonna hit the stunt button and see if it can actually do any stunts, because this is not a very stunt capable airplane. So here we go, push it. Oh, look at that. Wow, it did pretty good. That was surprisingly good. Let's do a loop. I'm assuming it can do it. No, it just does rolls. So even though I pulled back, that was just a roll. We're going to do that roll a little lower. Here we go. Okay, it does not do the throttle management like that one P51 that we just had on the channel. So you need to be full throttle or close to it if you're gonna give it a roll command. Well, it didn't do it that time. About half throttle, 3/4. Push it. Come on, baby, what are you doing? Consistently good, and now can't get it. Well, it's not doing it. Don't know why.
Is it because you're flicking it?
Maybe.
Command it like you mean it.
There. Okay, you just have to, oh, I saved it. I saved it. I know, that was pure luck. Oh, that was 3 inches from hitting the ground. Wow.
So was I right?
You were right. Yeah.
Be the boss.
Yep, just like you are in control. That's right, Abby. Don't flick it. Okay, now, if you want to turn sharper, use the rudder, because this actually has rudder, so check that out. Just the bank and yank, pretty wide. Input rudder, much faster. You see that? Yeah, that's nice. So even in beginner mode, we can do some really cool kind of slips. Did you see that? We were really slipping through the air there. We'll do it the other way. It looked really cool. Let's do. We'll get it out here. And we'll do a right-hand turn with rudder. It was slipping really cool. It looked really neat. See if I can get it again. There. More level, more rudder. I think some of you guys hopefully saw what I was talking about. Okay, it's flying good. It's beginner friendly. It's got the prop up in the back. The Aero Scout, the one that's $100, that comes tail heavy. You have to put some nose weight in. This one doesn't do that. It's got a couple stunt options, but they're probably some of the worst stunts I've ever had on a little ready to fly, but at least it can do them. And then 3 different flight modes, and I actually really like intermediate mode. I feel like we have a little more control over it. We can turn a lot sharper, climb way steeper. See that? Full throttle. It just doesn't have a ton of power. This is a cruising airplane, if I've ever seen one, trying to go stunt mode. They probably could have done a lot more with this if it were brushless, but we can do this at least. Check this out.
Thank goodness you're tall.
Now, of course, I don't recommend that any of you do that I just did. Don't try to hand catch that. Just land in the grass somewhere, and that's the safe way to do it. But I like that the prop is mounted back here. It's just a lot safer in general for the airplane and the pilot and people around and everything. I like that this has rudder control, elevator, and ailerons, as well as throttle management, flight stabilization. It's all there. For me, though, I like it, and if you love it, good for you. Buy it, especially if the price is right. And speaking of that, we'll have it linked in the description box below where you can check it out. With any luck, Abby will have a nice coupon code down there for you to save even more money, just because you're awesome and watching our videos. But if I was going to drop $100 or less on a plane, I'd rather have that P-51 that we just had on the channel. I think it flew better. I think it looks cooler, although it is smaller. So for some people, maybe they just want a nice glider style airplane where you can get longer flight times. You could actually do some soaring with this and gliding, and maybe even get like a half-hour flight on this, whereas the P-51 needs to maintain throttle to stay in the air, and you're only going to get 12 minutes or so of flight time on that one. So there are some pros and cons, but for me, I think there are more cons. Although it brought back good memories, it was very reminiscent of my childhood and Sky Viper drones, and that was really cool. Okay, let's try again. Go. Oh, okay, one more time. That was really good.
Run with it like you were.
Yeah. Come on, Daniel. Come on.
That was funny. Launch with confidence. Launch confidence, Amelia. She forgot to put.
There we go. Yeah. I want to say a massive thanks to God for blessing us with this beautiful, calm day. And just a little word to you guys so you know what we just went through. I literally just about ran over. I did run over.
It was stuck. We'll just leave it at that.
And I broke a couple things of our camera gear. So if this looks a little different, there's a reason for that. And we need to repair those things. But thankfully, the camera seems to still be working. We're still able to do videos, and the thing that I damaged will be a very minimal cost, we hope. Compared to what it could have been, that is not a cheap camera over there at all, or lens. And it's because of our Patreon supporters that we're able to provide nice camera quality for everybody to watch and repair when things do happen. So if you've got something getting you down, beating you up a little bit, just know that we all go through those things. Even though this was a pretty good little flight and stuff, no crashes or anything, behind the scenes, camera stuff happens. So life happens, and we're all in it together. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of this with us. We'll have a hand-picked video. Well, actually, the P-51 I talked about. I think that's a really good one, especially if you haven't seen it. It's well worth your time. that'll be popping up right about now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye.